we go. Buckle up.
Drum roll, please.
We're about to get into it. All right, welcome back to the Daily Traders Podcast. This is episode number 5. All right, I'm your host, Mark. This is my co-host, Jack, and we're glad to be back.
Yeah, we are.
I'm in a suit today.
Yeah, you are.
And you're in like a half suit.
Yeah, I'm missing the jacket. I was sweating. It's a little hot in here.
I don't know how I feel about that tie. It's like, it kind of contrasts like the whole plaid look there.
Yeah, no, I realized that. I was trying to get to the office early because I had some positions open.
You were here really early.
Yeah, I was here at like 8, which is not early. But I live like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
So, I had to be up around 6, and I actually slept through my alarm, and my roommate woke me up. He was like, dude, because he came to the office with me today. He was like, dude, don't you have to leave in like 10 minutes? And I looked at my phone. I was like, oh, shoot, yeah. So I just threw together some random outfit, and this is what popped out. So
Fair.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
I always get my sleep on filming days. Like,
nice.
I feel like it's like, I don't want to pull up, be half awake. Like, this winter filming, there were some nights where I was up all night. I would get here at like 7 in the morning, half awake, it just wasn't healthy, and then I came across like that on camera.
Yeah.
So I slept until like 9 o'clock.
That's fair.
You were here, you were at the office, and I was still sleeping.
Yeah, no, it is. I've actually been super anal lately about like being like around my trades and like alert, because this has been happening to me like a few times. Like, it happened the other day. I went and got lunch, and I looked at my portfolio. It was up like. No, I texted you. I was up like 75% on a position because I told you about it. I was like, yo, I'm entering this. Like, enter it if you want. I was up 75% on a position. I go out to lunch, and it just shot. And when I was at lunch, like, if I stayed on my computer, I would have seen the like pattern, the direction change, and I probably would have taken profits. But because I was at lunch, I didn't take profits, and I actually took a loss on that trade. So it went from a 75.
You did?
It went from like a 75% banger to a actually like a 20% loser because I didn't take profits.
Dang. I've had mornings where, I've been a little lazy, and normally I'm up and at it. Like, when I was in California, I was up at 5 o'clock every morning.
Yeah.
Like, good hour-long pre-market session, go through my watch list, send that out to the mentorship, whatnot.
Yep.
But now I wake up at probably 8.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little later, depending. Like, I go hard, and then I crash.
Yeah.
And I need some rest. And I've, woken up at 9:20, check, pre-market, whatever, I have a position, it's all right, take a shower. Within 10 minutes, market opens, 9:40, and I'm down, like, atrocious. It's like a $5,000 shower.
Yeah, right.
Like, I've had some
I've had some couple $1,000 showers.
Rough showers.
Yeah.
All right, a little disclaimer we got to put in here. We are not financial advisors. We cannot give financial advice. Nothing said in this podcast should be taken as financial advice. The full disclaimers will be in the description below. Thanks. But if you're day trading, you can't walk away. And with the positions I take, they're all swing trades, and that's fine. Like, I'm fine with like leaving for a bit, and it's not gonna make or break the trade. Unless I don't check it all day.
Yeah, I've been actually slowly transitioning my strategy over to more swing trading. I've been taking a few day trades here and there. I'll have like a QQQ or a SPY up because I've been trading those ETFs for a while, so I'm pretty familiar with how they move. So I'll keep those up, and if I see any good setups, I'll take it. But most of my strategies now are in swing trading. And
Okay.
I definitely have grown to like it a lot more, as it's like, I remember you touched on this. I think it was in the pod not that long ago. And you talked about how swing trading is great because you can take a lot of time to analyze, right? You can look at patterns, how the equity, if you're trading stocks, has behaved around different moving averages, because each stock will, behave differently around different moving averages on different time frames. So kind of actually like really learning what position you're about to enter.
Yeah,
so
I can't do the day trading thing that fast paced, like looking at a couple moving averages and trying to make a
And then
decision.
boom.
Like, I like taking time and taking a step back, like just looking at an analytical standpoint. Like, I don't look at news and I just look at the chart, and I stick to that one time frame. But it takes time to find like the good trades, the right trades, like the opportunities out there. But right now, just because the market's tough, there's less opportunities. I'm trading less. It's maybe one trade a week. I'm really going in heavy on that trade. So like now more than ever, it's important for me to like sit back and take twice as long maybe than I normally would to look at a setup, especially before I call it out. And like the trade that I'm in right now, which is Uber, which is doing well. You have it pulled up here.
I'm in it. It's on the right
You're
screen.
in Uber? Okay. So like I took, I found that trade earlier in the morning a couple days ago. I think, what's today? Yeah. And I checked on it throughout the day, and I normally enter my trades like last hour of the day, power hour, right? Because I swing trade, and then I'll swing it. Like preferably, like it would be amazing to get a good aftermarket move and pre-market move and close the trade on market open the next day. But realistically, it takes a couple days to get the move you want.
Yeah.
And it's a bigger move that I'm looking for on Uber. It was like almost a 20% margin for profit.
Yeah.
But
you're trading options, so that 20% is
that's
what actually
20%
realized.
on the chart. Yep. So like option wise, it's that would be like it would be like 200%.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to actually make that much. I'm shooting for like 40%.
Nice. I mean, that's super solid.
So yeah, if you look at the what do you have the 4 hour pulled up on here? Nah, I'm not even gonna get into an analytical standpoint. But I'm watching the 50-day SMA. So the 50-day SMA is one moving average that I use to kind of figure out where I'm gonna take profit, right, or cut for a loss.
Oh,
depending.
so you also kind of use trailing stops with moving averages?
Not trailing, but in a way. So like if I'm looking at a chart, first thing I'm doing is just like looking at basic like key support and resistance levels within like the candles. Okay.
Yep.
And then I'm looking at the moving averages, 180-day SMA, the 50-day SMA, and the 15-day EMA. Each one, playing a different or having less effect than the other based on like price movement. The 180-day SMA is going to like act as the strongest either support or resistance level.
Yep.
Whereas the 50-day SMA is going to be like a less strong support or resistance depending on where the candles are, right, where the stock's trading. And the 15-day EMA, again, is like I don't even look at that much. I don't look at it that much, but if I'm looking to exit, like I don't sweat the entries. Like, I say like no one should sweat the entries if you're swing trading, but I'll use the 15-day EMA on exits often.
Yeah, I think the 15 EMA is good to use for kind of like a hint of direction towards short-term direction, right? So if it's like where it's trading in relation to that moving average is definitely helpful.
Like at the end of the day, it's all, nothing's going to play out exactly as like you think. And it's a coin toss. No one knows what's going to happen, but trying to like identify a trend, like historical trends, like when I say historical, it doesn't even have to be like a couple years. Like I'm looking at like patterns that have formed over the last, couple weeks, couple months. And like I think patterns are the strongest thing you can go off of with like the highest expectancy, because like everything follows a pattern and patterns repeat multiple times.
Yeah,
It's like what a pattern's called.
History repeats itself.
Always. And like moving averages, yeah, they work, but the moving averages help me identify like setups when I'm going through charts, and then I'll use those to like manage the trade more or less. So like I'm really just I'm looking for patterns within the 4-hour time frame, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to identify those patterns and then find some setup within the pattern based on the moving averages. And, I've changed my style over the years and kind of developed that. And I think it's just like with time, like and experience, you can really choose the setups that look good. Because there's plenty that I see every day that are like, okay, that would be decent, that would be decent, that would be decent. But it's like, it's a little intuition to figure out which one you're going to go with, because you can check all the boxes for 10 different charts, but you got to choose one.
Totally. Yeah, so I kind of want to touch on this. Maybe I feel like it would be an interesting little discussion. So you entered, I believe, Uber a couple days ago in the mentorship group, and in the last 2 days, Uber actually went up. So you were probably down. You were down a couple $1,000s, I believe, and but you held in, and now obviously you're up like 20% on the contracts.
Yeah, it was like 20%. It was like $7,000.
So how come? I mean, I think huge issue for smaller traders, especially less experienced traders, is knowing when to cut losses. So how come you knew not to cut losses and wait it out?
Okay, well, two things. You're either cutting losses based on like, at the end of the day, you need to know your expectancies, like your win rate, your strike rate, whatever you want to call it. like how much you can actually lose on a trade.
Yep.
Based on your expectancies, like if you have an 80% win rate or a 60% win rate, whatever it may be. And then you figure that out before you enter the trade, if the trade is actually like worth taking, like how much am I risking on this trade? How much am I going to make? And then you can use, like I said, one of those moving averages, a key like support resistance level within the chart. If you're like, obviously if you're buying calls or puts, depending. But with Uber specifically, I was playing, especially like one of the things I'll look at is like a break of pattern. So lower highs, there's resistance overhead. You break the pattern of lower highs. There's a key like moving average, like the 180-day SMA, which is acting as resistance. Okay, You break the pattern of lower highs. There you go. We've invalidated, like the setup's been invalidated. If you're shorting, overall direction has shifted, and then you could cut losses when you hit that 180-day SMA, or depending on where it is on the chart. Like it could be like right at that break of pattern. Looking at the candles, but it didn't break the pattern. So like I knew that the setup was still valid and it was fine, right? Because that was like the initial entry was like based off like that pattern I saw of lower highs, rejections at the 180-day SMA, with a clear like that pullback that we saw like 2 weeks ago, very clear support level, a new low formed. It was like at $20. So I was just looking to play the move essentially back down to that previous support level that had been formed, knowing that, hey, if we did break that pattern of lower highs, if we broke above the 180-day SMA, at that point with my expectancies, I was fine losing exactly what it was that I would lose, but we're still good, so I'm still holding.
Yeah.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, that was a mouthful. I started like laughing because I was like, wow, he's still talking about this one trade.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's good. Because you were able to talk about, why you entered this position for a while because you looked at it, you consider it, and because you're able to talk about it for so long and because you actually understand the trade, which is definitely a good sign. It's interesting. You kind of, I believe in that when you were talking about the trade, you talked about what you can risk as a trader, right? And something I've noticed with a lot of prop firms actually do this. A lot of retail traders actually do this. And something you can do is you can reach out to your broker and say, hey, if I lose X amount of money, cut me off for the day. Right? So a lot of prop firms do that. If you don't know what a prop firm is, it's a proprietary firm, which they pretty much give money to traders to trade with. They get a cut. There's a lot on them, but that's pretty much the broad idea of them. Anyways, they do that as risk management. So why don't you do that as risk management? Like, why don't you have like a cutoff number? Because I've thought about it, and I was like, I've actually recently thought about reaching out to TOS or TD Ameritrade and saying, hey, I want to.
Like they'll cut off your account. Like you can't use your.
No, if you reach below a number, you're cut off for the day.
Well, how does that work if you're like in a swing trade and like
cuts losses?
They're gonna close your trade out. Yep. Well, that's what I do though, like because I already know like when I enter a trade, like this is how much I'm willing to lose on this trade. Like, and if it drops to that level, then I'm out. Like if you're day trading, making a lot of positions, like in and out, and you're like just digging a hole for yourself, that would make sense. But
well, I think what you're saying is you're exiting the trade because of some, like some reasoning, some technical analysis, right? Oh, it's followed the pattern. If it stays below this moving average, then I'll continue to stay in the trade. However, once it breaks above this or the next candle closes above this average, then I'm going to take cut losses, whatnot. That's based off technical analysis. That's different than, I believe, cutting losses just based on a P&L standpoint, which is what that is.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the P&L thing, I don't know. Less and less. I look at my P&L less and less, and I used to a lot, but it's like
I don't even look at my P&L. If you've noticed on my tab, I have my trade open because I don't even like looking at P&L because I don't want to exit a trade based on P&L.
I have to be aware just because I know other people inside the mentorship who may or may not have or who, if they join on the trade, they're in that trade with me and they're most likely up or down like roughly the same as I am. So I have to be aware of that, but totally. I don't check it all the time. I was just looking now. I'm up like 4K right now, so it's good.
Nice,
that's good, but it's like. At the end of the day, it's just like you could check your P&L at the end of the month. You get your monthly report. I know traders who do that.
Yeah, I think
at the end of every week, I'll look.
That's why
but I have to keep an eye on the trade.
Robinhood is so toxic because you open the screen and then it's
so
boom,
bad.
Like your P&L's right in your face.
It's like a casino. It's like a game, and when you visually look and and you see your P&L curve, you see like a roller coaster, like
Yeah.
it's bad. Like you could just hide your P&L on TOS and just trust the trade and know that like you've got your plan in place and
Yeah.
then you just let it go and move on. Look at another trade, and it's just so bad to be locked on your phone, like checking it every couple minutes.
Because a lot of people
do that, and that's
Yeah.
like it's also a way to just burn out and like
totally. I think I saw a comment because we talked about how if you're gonna trade for money, you're gonna lose, right? And someone comments then like, why else would you trade? Like that's why people trade is trade for the money. I think that comment itself was again toxic because it's like obviously if we weren't making money, we wouldn't be trading, right? Because it's a career. We need some source of income to function and live as human beings. But what I've noticed is that it's like trading is more a game of predicting the markets, right? Learning, being aware. And then the P&L is just a byproduct. So it's like when you say, oh, I'm up $500 on the trade and you take profits, or you say, oh, I'm down $500 on the trade, I'm cutting losses. You're not playing the game. You're doing it. So then it just plays into doing it for the wrong reason. So you're going to lose, right? Because it's like that winner could keep running, you can make $2,000, or that loser could turn around and you can make a profit. So it's like, it's so important to like really understand that trading is not a game of money. It's a game of understanding the markets and being good at finding your edge or your alpha, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and it exponentially gets easier to play a game the more of that thing you have. Like that goes for anything in life. It's easier to play games when you've got it. Like and building up your portfolio, the more money you have, it becomes easier to just be like, all right, like I'm not gonna look or I'm not gonna check that or like just with anything. Like we were talking about this, and it's like, if you have like, it's easier to. Obviously, it's just like you have something, you're less inclined to like be so into something.
Yeah.
If you have it.
Yeah, no,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
I can't
it does.
even word this right.
I feel like here's like an analogy which I just made up in my head, so quote me on this.
Okay.
It's okay, so imagine, right, you have a basketball player. You have two basketball players, right? One's only playing basketball, so if he makes it to the league, he can make a bag. The other basketball player is playing basketball because he loves basketball. He lives, breathes, he loves basketball. What two of those two players do you think is going to succeed the most?
Yeah.
The player that loves the sport, not the player that is just in it for the money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What if the guy who's really good and just playing because he loves it also just has a bag?
Yeah, well, eventually the money will come. It's just like you got to love it first because trading is like a long game, right? It's a lot of people portray it as like a get rich quick scheme, but it's just not. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, I think it's arguably like one of the hardest jobs out there.
It's so competitive because everyone wants to trade, right?
And it's not even like a competitive in the sense of it's just like it's you versus yourself.
Yeah. No, it totally is. Like it's like your head, right? You're making the decisions. You're clicking that keyboard, and the only person you can be. I mean, you can't really beat the market.
You're beating yourself.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Like you are trying to beat yourself on a daily basis.
Crazy. I read an article.
Who's that yelling in the back?
I don't know.
Okay, it's gonna be so nice when we have a dedicated podcast studio.
Yeah,
and we don't have to set up the cameras each time because this takes like a good hour to get set up. And our poor media man has to do it, and we just sit here.
Thank God for the media man.
We're just lazy.
If we didn't have him, we would not be. But anyways, I read this article about NFTs, and it was super interesting because the author compared NFTs to Beanie Babies. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Was your because I know you have a younger sister. Was she ever into Beanie Babies?
Beanie Babies? I don't think so.
Really?
No, but I definitely have heard of them.
Oh, well, anyways, my I was very well acquainted with Beanie Babies due to my younger sister. She was very into them.
Yeah.
And I remember she came up to me, she goes, "Oh, well, look at this one I just got. It's like $50." I'm like, it's a little stuffed animal. I think our dog ate it the next day. But anyways, expensive chew toy. But
what does this have to do with that?
You'll see. I'm going to tie it.
Let's get there.
I'm going to tie it in NFTs. Okay. And anyways, it's pretty much the whole price. I mean, these things are made for probably 50 cents in China, right? Mm-hmm. And the way the marketing strategy by the company was very smart. And what they did was they retired certain Beanie Babies after they were made. I forgot like the actual, and they sold different ones to different stores for a limited quantity, right? So they created this type of like demand for them of this like unique special item that can't be recreated, right? So
Okay.
what happened was, it was kind of like the whole, there was a good word for it. There's like a term for it. I forgot what he used, but he pretty much says like the fool, right? It's like a game of like fool investing. So it's like your bias of making money is based on the person who will buy this, whatever it is, this unique one of a kind thing after you is just gonna buy it for more than you did, right? So that was the whole bias of these Beanie Babies. Fast forward 1 year with the whole .com crash, .com era, they went off too, and now they're worth nothing, right? I mean, these animals that were worth $100 are now worth they're in people's
that's
basements.
Interesting. Yeah,
So
wow.
we're seeing kind of the same thing with NFTs, right? I mean,
Yep.
NFTs, there's like Bored Ape they're down 50%. There's this one of like a rock, which are down 80%. It's like,
everyone is so down on
I mean, granted, the whole market's down.
the whole market's down, but NFTs specifically.
Yeah.
I actually I don't even know if I should speak about this because I don't know enough. But I've just heard stories. I've seen like different articles, and like some people lost like almost their whole investment.
Gosh. I mean, but then you hear rewind, a couple of months, even like 4 months. People were making a bag off NFTs. Like
the last, rewind to like
unreal.
2 months ago, previous to the last 2 months. It was like a disgusting amount of money that I was seeing people make online.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
so much money on NFTs, and I knew that was not going to last. Like, it was just too unsustainable. It was just a bubble, and now that bubble is popped. But I think NFTs are definitely here to stay. They're definitely like a long-term thing. But I think 98% of the projects out there are going to go to zero, and there'll be those like couple projects that will actually last. And I think it'll become something bigger in the future. But I think we're a ways out, and I think we're not there. And I remember I bought an NFT like a year ago.
You bought an NFT?
Yeah, I bought an NFT.
I didn't know
that. It was
that.
like over a year ago now. It was
Really?
It was like probably a year and 3 months ago. And I haven't even the problem is I don't even know where it is.
That's really funny.
I sound dumb, but I'm like, it's on like some OpenSea wallet or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's too people are gonna clown me for this, but it's too complex for the average person to buy an NFT and know where it is and then know how to sell it. We're not there yet because it's too difficult.
I know. I mean,
it needs to be simple.
Yeah.
It needs to be streamlined.
Yeah, no, that's definitely very true. But I think what's different about NFTs than compared to Beanie Babies is, aside from a dog chew NFTs actually have some implications, right? There, you have like the whole Nelk NFT, which gets you into certain functions, and then they have like doc slips for NFTs, and video games is a huge one. If you have the certain NFT, you can use it in the video game. So there's actual physical implications of the NFTs.
Have you seen Logan Paul's NFT project?
Yeah.
Like the Polaroids?
Yep. So it's like each one kind of has the certain purpose.
Have perks.
Yeah, they have perks, and some of them are actually classified as like art, like they're realized as art. But that's then kind of tying back into this whole world of crypto and the whole fool of you're buying something on the bias that the next person will buy it for more is Bitcoin. Because like, what's the actual physical value of Bitcoin is really scary to think.
It's what people base it off.
Exactly.
Like,
there's no like...
It's whatever everyone thinks it's worth. It's going to be worth.
Exactly.
Everyone's like... If everyone decides right now, like, dang, Bitcoin's worth nothing, and sells their Bitcoin, it's going to be worth nothing.
You know what I heard the other day was really interesting. Warren Buffett was, I forgot, was at some type of conference, and he goes, if I could buy 1% of the U.S. farmland for whatever, $250 billion, I would. Or if I could buy 1% of U.S. stock companies for $250 billion, I would. But if I could buy 100% of Bitcoin for $25, 100% of Bitcoin, $25. I mean, I don't know what the market cap is now. It's so down tremendous, but I'd imagine it's somewhere in the hundreds of billions. He said I wouldn't buy it for $25.
Why?
Because think about it. If he has all the Bitcoin, he has to sell it to make it valuable. So it's like like there is no value because he owns all of it. It's valuable because everyone owns it, right? And it's like this huge demand pool of everyone. But if one person owns all of it, who's really going to want to buy it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like that's what gives it value. So it just goes to show that it's this kind of like it's it's not this physical thing you can grasp, which is just so scary. And that's kind of like, it's insane how huge of a market cap and how heavily now, I mean, cryptos, I think we were talking about in last podcast, or we were going to talk about it, was it El Salvador media?
Yes.
Yeah, El Salvador, they adopted it. I know other countries have as a as like a recognized national currency, which is pretty unreal. But
And El Salvador gave like all of the citizens like what was it? Something like $100 or something worth of Bitcoin.
yeah, something like that.
That might have been a different country. Not
Yeah.
sure, but the article's still there if you want to reference it.
Yeah. Anyways, I just remember after reading it that they're down like 50% on because the Treasury minister bought like part of their fiscal plan was to buy a ton of Bitcoin pretty much, and
now they're all down
they
so
like,
bad, but they're holding it.
Yeah, and El Salvador. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that was the title of the article. It said financial minister says El Salvador isn't down because they haven't sold yet, which is true and it's not true.
Yeah,
because it's like, you know, like, are you down? Yes, but have you realized those losses? No. But
that's a good point.
Yeah. Anyways,
you have no Bitcoin.
No, I don't. I'm all out. I just don't. I'm just. It's kind of scary, dude.
I think if we drop back down to like, honestly, I think 20K is a great point to scoop up some more long term. But I was looking with my assistant. And we were going like through. We were looking at the market cap of like all crypto and like trying to find like this next level that Bitcoin might drop down to. And we were thinking somewhere around 13,000, potentially within like the next 4 or 5 months.
That's interesting. Your assistant is pretty competent when it comes to stocks and crypto.
He's really into crypto.
I was talking to him about Sheeb.
Yeah, he loves his Shiba Inu.
He loves his Sheeb
coin,
which is funny.
He's gonna get rich off that. Just wait. He's gonna buy up so much.
It's funny.
Yeah,
he's saving up.
But he's like, he's working on like a crypto portfolio right now, which I'm gonna get involved with. I think we're gonna try to come up with like 100 different coins and come up with like a diversified portfolio to hopefully buy up all these coins once this market kind of bottoms and looks like it's turning around, which might be in the next like 4 or 5 months.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and like that's what I did a year ago. Put 30K in this portfolio, and like obviously that went poorly.
Is this gonna be something that the mentorship group will?
Yeah. I think we might make that available to everyone. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're working on some big things though.
So I'm excited for that.
Outside of just like the mentorship, we're working on a big coaching program and like.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it. There's things in the works.
Big things are coming.
Yeah, we're doing a lot. Like, we've been super productive. This last, like, couple of months has been insane.
Yeah.
Very productive. This week's a big week. We're filming 2 podcasts this week. We're filming 2 YouTube videos this week because I'm actually I'm traveling next week.
2 podcasts too, right?
We're filming the next one tomorrow.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna be fun.
I wish we could have got a guest on, but my buddy couldn't fly out in time. And I just couldn't make it happen. But we are going to have guests on, so I'm excited for that, too. But we just got to plan more ahead of time.
Yeah, this podcast is definitely going places. I mean, the growth of our podcast on TikTok is pretty unreal.
It is.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So that was super. I remember I was like, wow, that's so... I just had no clue it'd explode that fast, which is pretty awesome to see.
Numbers on Spotify and Apple are pretty impressive, too.
Really?
I can't remember how many downloads I have to go
A
check.
lot of downloads on Spotify.
Yeah, a lot of traffic probably coming from
You're going to
TikTok.
be getting recognized. You're going to be going to get breakfast, and someone's going to be like, yo, it's Jack. It's the Weekly Trader.
Mark, please stop touching your mic.
I've got a habit of touching my mic. I need a fidget spinner.
That's funny. So I wanted to quote this guy on Twitter, I believe, Cullen Roush, and he goes, "The stock market is the only market where things go on sale and all the customers run out of the store, ... Which is so interesting because, it's true.
Read that again.
Okay.
You got to read that again.
I'll read it slower.
Okay.
The stock market
Got it.
is the only market where things go on sale and all the customers run out the store, ...
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because when the market's down, people are
Everyone's
scared. They're away. They're like, I don't want to buy.
They're not buying.
They're selling.
They're not buying clothes on discount.
No, it's like that's when you buy clothes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
wow.
That's when you get the best prices. So it's
That's a good quote.
I was like, I read that. I was like, it's true. So it's kind of, that plays into whole Warren Buffett.
And then when the market's going straight up, everyone's just buying as much as they can.
Yeah.
Which is like exactly what happened with Bitcoin. There's so many people I know that were buying in at 60K.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because it's FOMO. It's fear of missing out.
El Salvador.
Yeah.
Top tech.
But everyone,
the big
FOMO
one.
is a huge thing. I think we should talk about that. Like the fear of missing out when it comes to like anything in life and investing and like opportunities. Like I said opportunities, but like GameStop, right?
Yeah.
AMC last year, remember?
Oh, yeah,
Were you
totally.
involved in the AMC GME thing?
I was not. I mean, I wasn't a part of the whole Wall Street bets. I wasn't really paying attention. But it was actually a really good, apart from it being a meme, it was also a really well set up short squeeze. If I've been looking into short squeezes, and I can kind of touch on how they work. And pretty much what it is when a short squeeze happens, right, there's a super low, or not necessarily super low, but there's a low float in the stock. And the float in the stock is essentially the shares that are available on the market, right? So what happens is, institutions will believe that a stock is going down. There's a lot of issues with GameStop's, their brick and mortar stores. They were kind of switching over to more online. So a lot of stores were closing, malls, the pandemic, everything was just looking bad for the company, right? So I believe it was something like 130-ish percent, 130. So more than the outright shares available on the market were shorted. So this huge amount of shares were shorted, right?
Yep.
So when the stock started going up, all these people with shorts, when you have to exit a short, you have to buy back the share. But there's 130% of shares that were shorted. Mm-hmm. So now when the stock's going up, all these institutions that were shorting the stock, right? Because what actually happened was they started to increase revenue from online stores, and then a ton of volume was poured into the stock from the whole from the whole Wall Street bets crowd, right? So the stock started actually going up, and then the short sellers, right? These institutions were like, all right, shoot, it's going up. What's going on? So they start selling. But there's 130% of the shares that are shorted. So you can just see what happens. So now it's this huge competitive thing for buy. And the only way to exit these shorts is to buy but the stock's going up and the shorts are going down in value, and there's infinite loss on not technically infinite, but how a short works, right? So the shorts are, so people, it's just, you can just see what happens. That's how a short squeeze works. And that's what happened with GameStop. And it was a huge increase due to the massive amount of volume from Wall Street bets, which kind of played in the whole phenomenon.
And that's FOMO. Everyone wanted to get in and get involved, and I stayed out for the most part. Pretty sure, just because I was like, I need to, something like that is going to distract me from what I normally do, and it's just not a good idea to like something that I don't know much about, like at the time, and I just saw it going up. I'm like, sure, I could have bought a couple shares, but that would have distracted me from like my trading and.
Yeah, because that's not your strategy. Your strategy isn't finding short squeezes. Your strategy is swing trading.
Exactly.
Larger cap stocks.
And I think that's important for anyone listening. Is like if you have a strategy like, and you've been, profitable trading that strategy for however long you've been profitable, and then another opportunity comes up, which seems like you could make some money from it. Just don't do it. If it's a strategy or like a short squeeze or like something like that. That's going on in the market, just stick to what you're doing that's working, because the chances are that, it might work out, but no, at the end of the day, it probably won't, and you're just going to end up either distracting yourself from what you're doing, and you're going to not make money because, you're focusing on the short squeeze.
Right.
And it's, at the end of the day, it's psychology. It just throws off your whole rhythm and your whole flow.
Yeah.
It's like a flow state with trading. You get in the zone.
Yeah.
You have a good trade. You get on a roll. And then it's like, I'm going to go try to make money here. And then you lose a ton of money, and then you're off your
now you're off your game, and now you're distracted. It's like you can't do too many things at once. You got to specialize.
Yeah.
You got to do one thing really well, and that's what helps a lot of traders. Yeah. How about we take 5?
Sure.
Yeah, come back. Want to take a little break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. We'll be back.
All right, no, we're back, though. We're back. We don't need to cut that in.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Okay. All right. So Uber's down a lot more than when we last checked. The whole market's pulling back. I'm hype. I'm up like 10K on this trade. It's up like 25% since called out. So I just posted inside the mentorship. A bunch of people are already taking profit.
Really?
Good to see.
Which is cool. Good for them, but I think it's going to run a lot more.
Yeah, no, I honestly think it will. And like, if you look on the 4 hour there, like the 50-day SMA, so that red line I was talking about, is still like it's probably 2% below where we're currently trading. So definitely more room for profit. Anyway, we want to talk about like our trading, like, I guess it's like a system. I think a system's a better word than a strategy.
Yeah.
A system. And it's not just like, okay, like we're looking at this chart on the 4-hour time frame, looking for patterns. It's like our life, okay?
Your life is your strategy.
Your life is your strategy.
Yep.
All right.
Agreed.
So, do you work out every day? Do you work out?
I try, yeah. I work out most days, but it's like I work out. I don't work out before market opens because I know myself. I'm not a morning person. It's hard for me to even get up, an hour before market opens. So I work out after market closes, and that's part of my strategy, right?
Yeah, and in LA, I worked out. So I would get up 5, right? Market opens, get like a good hour in, go work out, come back. I do like 2 workouts, morning workout. But right now, I'm working out in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not a morning person either. I'll wake up, get like a solid like 3.5 hours in, then go work out for an hour in the middle of the day, which breaks up my day. I get out, whether we're at the office or I'm at the house, at my office at the house, splitting up my day, clearing my mind, and then coming back and having a really productive like power hour, last couple hours of the day, and then working through the evening.
Yeah.
And like working out is like without that, like I know I wouldn't perform as well as I do because my mind would be in a million places. Like it helps me stay grounded, it helps me stay focused, and it keeps my chemistry in balance. And like in the winter, it's hard to stay like balanced and feeling healthy. And like it's easier in the summer with sunlight, but going out, like I try to like not sit inside all day too.
Mm-hmm, that makes sense. I've recently started to gain an appreciation for working out. Because as you know, I just finally got like a legit training set up at my house probably about a month or 2 ago. And before, I still had a training setup, but it wasn't near as legit as what it is now. And I was trading, and so what it's enabled me to do is sit in front of my computer all day long and trade, right? From pre-market to market close. I don't really trade post-market, but anyways, trading is a lonely job, right? Mm-hmm. It's like you're sitting in front of a computer all day long. Yeah. And sometimes if you're in like serious positions where, you have like a lot of your savings on the line, you're not leaving your computer. You might leave to go like grab a bar, run back and eat. Yeah. Or go to the I remember I went to the bathroom. I was like sweating because I was like, had to get back because I was like in the middle of, I was super like I needed.
I've been there. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure every trader's been there, but going to the gym, it's like if you sit in front of your computer all day and then you don't leave your house, I don't know, maybe some people could do it, but I myself as a human would implode, right? And so I needed, so going to the gym allowed me, market closes at 4 Eastern time, go to the gym, come back only for like an, hour and a half, and then all of a sudden and then it's like my day restarts. It's like a restart, and then I can go, and then I hung out with friends the rest of the day. So it was a really good day, or at least, this is kind of how my days in the past month or 2 have been going. But
so wait, let's run through a day.
Yeah, all right, you want to go first?
Oh, no, you go first.
All right.
One day, your day when you're there and your day when you're here.
Yeah,
because you're here a couple days.
Yeah, I have 2 days. So at the office, so I don't come to the office every day. You don't either. So when I come to the office, I wake up at 6:30, take about 30 minutes to eat, shower, whatnot, and then I leave around 7, get here around 7:30. Sometimes I leave around 7:30, get here around 8, so I can make a pre-market plan.
8:30, you mean? You're like an hour.
Yeah,
hour 15.
Yeah. So I get here around like 8:30ish, and then make a pre-market plan. Sift through. I have a bunch of watch lists. I use the scan filter a lot on TOS. I find stocks that I'm interested in, then go according to my strategy, and I pick out some stocks I like, make a plan. Start my day trading. If we're shooting, I'll film a podcast from 12 to 1-ish, right? I mean, this one's running a little late because we take more than a 5.
It's a little, we try to shoot sometimes. Well, I wanted to shoot from 11 to 1, but that typically doesn't happen.
I was in the middle of some trades. But anyways, and then after that, market closes, go to the gym. I've been going to the gym with you lately. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go to the gym.
Yeah, we'll go to the gym today. I want to go after.
And then head back for dinner.
Yeah. It's like pretty normal day. It's like people think we have like some crazy days when it's just like.
No, I mean.
No, it's like pretty straightforward, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's all about.
It's fun. Like.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
It's rewarding.
I enjoy my schedule. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel good at the end of the day.
I want to ask you one thing, and then I'll kind of run you through my day. Like, when you're going through your pre-market watch list, are there a couple, like, I know for myself personally, I put aside probably 5 stocks that I'm going to be looking at on the day.
Yep.
Maybe there's 100 that I'm narrowing down from. Then I've, take those 100 and find 50 in setups that look promising, and then on the day I'm looking at maybe 3 to 5 stocks at max that I'm like ready to trade.
Yeah, I call it my huge movers. I have 5 of those different scan setups, and then I have it's called swing close. It's right there. It's called swing close watch, and then those are like 5 to 10 tickers that I'm looking to trade that day if a certain setup occurs. And normally what I do is I'll look at a pattern. So the way I pick these swing close watch is I'll find stocks with a promising pattern on a larger time frame, and then when I pick these stocks, I look for an intraday pattern to kind of establish where it's going in this larger move. So that's kind of my process in pre-market, finding these stocks and how I actually execute my trades.
Okay. Yeah, because you got a couple trades on right now, and I try to. So you clearly don't keep like 1 to 2 trades on. Like you'll go like 4 or 5 trades. Like I never have more than 2 trades on.
Yeah, I mean that's all strategy, right? It's like if you know yourself as a person, if you can't properly, because you don't want to take 3 trades, or you don't want to take 5 trades if you can't properly manage these trades, right? Like I find for myself, I can take up to 5 trades and I can manage them properly, and I won't take any more, right? Because at that point it's like, I'm looking at 5 different charts. It's like some are like about they kind of, what you'll find is when you watch the chart for a respectively long time is you kind of notice that stocks tend to move in similar ways, and especially across different tickers. Like QQQ leveraged ETF will move similar to Uber or another stock come in, VYGR, and you'll see, okay, now, wow, okay, this stock's rebounding, it's retracing, now it's making a lower low, but it kind of happens across all markets, which is really interesting to watch, but in different level. This stock might retrace more than this one, or this one might go up based on what sector it's in. But that's something you kind of learn, and it actually having multiple positions helps because you can kind of get a feel for what the greater market is doing, right? When you're looking at multiple equities, saying, all right, well, this one's kind of starting to rebound, making higher highs. Now this one's starting to follow. But yeah, that's kind of my normal day process. What about you?
Yeah, I balance my time between like multiple different things. It's obviously not just trading. Like it used to be just trading. When I was in LA, living on my own, like I had a whole different routine, like, because it was just my sole focus in LA for the most part was trading. It was trading my own account, and I would wake up and I would, do my pre-market watch list. I would pretty much spend like an hour to 2 hours like actively trading. I would go work out. I would come back. I would have lunch. In power hour was 12 to 1 o'clock in LA. So then 1 o'clock comes around, the market closes, and then I kind of had a whole afternoon to do stuff.
Yeah.
And so I would spend a lot more time just after the market closed going through charts and like looking for setups. Like I would spend hours and hours and hours going through hundreds and hundreds of charts.
Yep.
I found a better way to scan through and like find the setups that I look for now. But it was all like very manual back then and took a lot of time. And then like typically I'd work out again later in the day, and then I'd go eat dinner by myself. And that's like something I want to talk about too, which was like living on my own, moving out and like moving across the country, living somewhere where I knew no one.
It's quite the bold move.
It puts you in reality really fast. Cause everyone, obviously goes to school, lives with their parents, and like eventually everyone takes that leap. And that's why college is kind of designed to be like a little bubble where you can, you're not at home anymore, but you're on your own in a way.
Yeah.
Because most people can't just go into the real world and survive.
Oh yeah.
But doing that, like, it really made me grow up fast.
Yep.
And it was crazy. I remember flying in on the flight, flying into LA, looking out over the city, and it was the weirdest thing because I'm like,
it's been a weird moment
like,
for you.
I'm home. Like, I'm flying into LA and I am home. That was really weird. I'm like, I'm just by myself.
It must have been crazy because
crazy feeling.
I mean,
18, like living on my own. Like, what?
And it was also your dream though to go.
And it was my dream. Yeah.
It was
always my dream to be in LA.
Surreal. What a cool feeling.
It was a really cool feeling. I had a great apartment, and like I had the Audi. I got the Audi R8 like a little bit after I moved there. Crazy experience. I remember 3 weeks where I was just like, again, didn't know anyone. I would go to dinner. You go buy groceries. You see people around, but you're not talking to anyone. Like I FaceTime my parents a lot, but actually like sitting there like talking to someone I knew, like it was probably a month I went.
Yeah, it's crazy.
which is just weird. Like,
Well, it's
imagine
your
right
job.
now.
Your job wasn't super inducive to meeting people. You know,
No,
you're in your home on your
there's no way to
computer,
meet
you were
people.
working out.
Exactly.
I guess like the gym, you could have met someone, or like at the grocery store. But that's all very like cliche and kind
Yeah.
of it sounds.
Well, and what
easy.
happened was like
It's hard.
gyms were closed in LA for a bit there.
Oh, yeah,
When
yeah.
I moved out, I would go run at UCLA like every day. I'd run around UCLA, which was
Okay.
fun. And
But
I set
UCA
up
was
a
closed,
workout. What was
UCA
closed?
was
UCLA was closed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause-
campus was dead.
Yeah.
Yep. And then like I had a gym set up, like a gym on my patio. I'd work out. I'd run up the road, and like I had
Nice.
weights and whatever. Yeah, it was a weird. I say a weird time, but it was just a different time in my life. It feels like a whole lifetime ago. But everyone should experience living on their own. That was my point. Everyone should try living on their own and see what it's like, because it's good. You learn a lot about yourself because it's just you, and there's literally like you're in your head. And some people might go crazy doing it. Funny thing was, I listened to music a lot. Like I could never be silence. Like when you're alone for weeks on end, like silence kills you. So I always had music playing.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm the type of person like I tell myself this, but I don't know if it's actually gonna be true. But I feel like I'm never not gonna have a roommate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never not lived with a roommate. I've always had some type of person, not necessarily living in the same room.
Yeah.
As the term roommate would infer, but living in the same like house or condo, or in college, same dorm.
Sure.
But
But you want to try it though?
no, I just wouldn't be. I was like, I don't know. I just couldn't. It's nice to have someone that you could like just talk to or do whatever you want. But I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe I will live on my own. But that's a crazy. It must have been. Did you ever feel like lonely?
Oh yeah,
Living in LA.
all the time, and that's why like my distraction was work, and that's why like I was in this like constant flow state where there was no distractions.
Oh yeah.
There was no one to talk to. There was no one to take me out of like my focus. Like it was the craziest like 7 months, just like of like the time. It was just weird. Like I had no gauge for time.
Yeah.
Like days kind of roll into each other, and like all I did was work.
It was very consistent.
But that was the like craziest amount of progress that really just like I think that 7 months could equate to like maybe 4 years of someone's life. Like,
yeah, because you were just so
progress-wise.
focused doing stuff all the time. I think that's one of the hardest things to do in like kind of your own journey is like being able to really focus and say no.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was something that was really hard for me. Is I probably could have been way more productive and made a lot more money trading stocks in college if I like said no to social situations. Granted, I was in a frat, so it was like stuff was always going on. Every second of the day,
There's something going on.
there was
Distraction.
something to do.
Yeah.
So it was so easy to get distracted, and luckily I stayed semi-focused. But like now being here in the office and having my home set up and having this kind of like flow state that I'm in now, like you were talking about, it's like I've noticed so much personal growth in the last 2 or 3 months has it been, and
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
sure.
it's just crazy that like once you like actually find a focus and motivate and stick to it and kind of create a routine, like how much progress you can make in such a short amount of time.
Yeah. No, it is crazy, and it just comes down to like how many hours a day you're spending on something too.
Yeah. I mean, stocks, it's so easy to like literally just sit on your computer all day long and
Yeah, well, it was like, what was that? It must have been some like article or something I saw. Oh, no, it was like, I don't know, some clip on Instagram, and like you could spend eight hours at a job sitting there all day.
Yep.
And being like kind of distracted here and there, like getting a little bit done, because of the atmosphere that you're in.
Yeah.
And it also comes down to like what you like if you actually enjoy what you're doing.
Yep.
But when you're by yourself, and what I would do instead of just like kind of drowning on for 6 hours, 8 hours a day, like looking at charts, like I would take like 30-minute breaks here and there. And what happens is like your productivity, think about it. If you start your day at like 9 o'clock, like a 9 to 5, like you're going to start out really productive, but progressively through the day, like it's just going to continue, like your productivity levels are going to continue to go down. I'm going to like show the camera. Like you start out here, throughout the day, your productivities are going to continue to go down. But what happens is when you say you start out here, right? Okay, your productivity levels start to go down. It's 10 o'clock. Now you take a break.
Yep.
Now you're back up here.
Yeah.
Okay, now you work for 2 more hours, start to go down, take a break. Now you're back up here. Do you see what I mean? I wish I had a way to draw that
Yeah,
out.
no, I mean-
and that's how you stay super productive and really focused and get a lot done.
Yeah, you have to break it up. And people, oh my gosh, I watched this TED Talk once. It was very insightful. And it talked about how, like, you kind of, as, like, people, we kind of have, like, a...
I feel so bad for the audio viewers. I'm so sorry. They're going to be so lost with that example.
Yeah, just picture, like, I mean, I feel like you described it pretty well. But people kind of have, like focus fuel tanks, right? And it's like you use up your fuel, right? Like, you can't stay dead focused for 10 hours straight. It's just impossible.
No.
It's like, it's not going to happen. So you have to, like, know yourself. Like,
Even if you love what you're doing and you're really enjoying it.
Yeah, that's actually how I, like, gauge, like, when I read at night, I read and I'll read as long as I can until I just read a page. I'm like, what the heck did I just read?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I'm like, okay, I'm not focusing. I need to shut the book, take a break, or just go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like just like when you're doing something and you're just like
That's part of your daily routine
zombie.
is reading.
Yeah, that's part of it. I read before I go to bed, or if I'm not doing anything with friends, I'll just pick up a book. It's pretty nice. It's a hard habit to get into. I really had to force myself into reading every day until I kind of got in the habit, because it's so much easier just to go like you're on your phone. You know what I mean? And then you can be productive on your phone. I'm oftentimes, we're doing a lot of social media stuff, stocks, whatnot on your phone, but it's really easy to slip. And reading a book I just find is very it helps a lot. I think knowledge wise, helps you focus. Like, if you can focus on a book nowadays, you can focus on a chart.
Yeah. I just thought of this funny story. I Snapchatted you the other day, and like, I have a lot of patience, like, for certain things. Other things I have no patience
I was going to say.
Like, zero patience.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just the most impatient person
I
with
know.
certain things. Like, setting stuff up kills me. Like, I can't set stuff up. I don't even have time to open, like, a package. Like, I destroy the package to open it.
When you have a goal, too, you have no patience.
A goal, yeah.
Or, like, if you want to do something.
If there's any mundane stuff that has to be done and you're working toward, like, the bigger picture, and you're like, fuck, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
But I sent you a Snapchat. What was it? I was making mac and cheese.
Oh, my gosh.
Why am I doing this to myself? I'm just,
This is
like,
unreal.
completely, like...
You're about to ruin your whole brand.
Should I say this? Should I talk about this story?
Are you sure you want to go forward
I
with
don't
this
know.
story?
What?
You were going to get clowned so hard, bro.
I don't care. I'm
It's
kidding.
It's funny.
I could care less. All right, I went to make mac and cheese. It was like the pre-made mac and cheese.
Editor goes, oh.
Pre-made mac and cheese, 6 steps on it, right? Now, granted, when I was in LA, living in LA, I did the pre-made meals that came to you and you heat it up. Like, tried that. I would go out to eat and I would Uber Eats. Like, I didn't make a thing. Like, I can make eggs and, like, an egg sandwich. Like, that's it. Wow. Impressive, right?
Yeah.
I was attempting to make this mac and cheese. I was so hungry. I didn't want to wait for the Uber Eats. And there's 6 steps on the back of it. And I just couldn't get myself to read past step 4. I, like, scanned it. I'm like, okay, good. It was, like, maybe a sentence each. This is, like, I mean, come on. Like, I can do this, but I can't read 6 instructions.
Yeah.
I put in the mac and cheese.
You're so impatient.
I'm so impatient. I put in the mac and cheese. I put in the noodles in the boiling water. I'm like, all right, that's boiling. It's definitely boiling.
Yep. And then what do you do after that?
Explain
the part of it where you messed up.
Okay, this is how I messed up. I take the cheese, like the cheese that you put on to make it mac and cheese.
Yep.
And I dump the cheese in the boiling water with the noodles.
Yep, and how'd that work out for you?
I go to stir it. Oh my God, I did something wrong. It's not becoming cheesy. Like, that's supposed to look like orange, like yellow.
Yeah.
And then it just started disappearing. So I'm like, and I take out the colander and I pour it in, dump it out. All the cheese is gone. And it's just straight noodles. I literally just didn't think to pour the cheese on after. I poured the cheese in the water.
That's crazy.
Something in my mind just like didn't like think that the cheese would dissolve, and I didn't read to that step. And that's embarrassing.
And this is why you don't drop out of high school, kids. You learn how to make mac and cheese.
Yeah, if I ever I was gonna say
that's unreal.
Yeah, I think one day I might actually learn how to cook and like take it serious, but I think right now, and like I was talking to my dad about this, and he's like, I used to do the same thing. I didn't have time to eat. I would just get chips, whatever. But now he's all into cooking.
Yeah.
And I think that's just how it is. I think it's
life.
just in your wherever you are in life. Like, and I can't. Yeah, no patience.
Yeah, that's up.
But you sat there and made steak the other night.
Yeah.
You made steak with him.
Yeah, we made. What did we make? We made steak. We made mac and cheese from scratch, and then we made like a salad.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
How do you have patience to do that? Like, isn't there better stuff to be
Cooking's-
done?
Well, it's like you have patience when you look at a stock graph. It's like you see a ticker you like.
It's funny
You don't
'cause this
just
is
go
like-
buy. You know, like you look at it and you look at patterns. You take your time. You maybe even check the news. You look at the bigger picture and you take your time, right? And you're methodical. And when you hit that buy button, you know what's gonna happen. It's like when I make a steak, I'm like, all right, I gotta wait 2 minutes before I flip it. You know, if I want it to be medium rare. So it's like, it's just like if you made mac and cheese, you're not gonna dump the cheese in the water. You know what I mean? You're gonna wait and you're gonna be like, oh, I mean, you might not make it perfect, but you're not gonna jump the cheese in the water at least.
Yeah.
You know?
I think if you don't have any patience, you're not going to be able to trade. Like, trading is funny because it's like it requires
a different
much
It's
patience.
a different type of patience, though.
Yeah. No, it definitely is.
It's not. Yeah, trading is like, because I think one of the worst things you can do is to take trades just to take trades because you don't really know what you're doing.
Yeah,
because you just want to
leave boredom.
Because you just want to make money, so you're like, oh, I'm gonna make a trade, and then you just lose money.
Yeah, speaking of this trade, I'm up like 10K.
Yeah, I'm looking at this now. I'm like, oh shit, I'm making hella
It's
bread.
very good.
We should do this more. Just have trades going on.
I know, it's exciting.
I'm probably up like
Little
20%
plug.
on my account right
Little
now.
plug if you want to learn how to trade, or if you have the time. Here's the thing. I always say this. Like, I get people don't have time to commit to learning.
Yeah, because people have
Right.
lives. People have
People have
jobs.
you have
People are
jobs.
going to school. People have commitments.
The one great thing is you don't need time. You don't need more than 30 minutes a day to trade and to make money trading, because what I do is I literally post my actual trades inside the group, inside the mentorship. And that's something that no one does, and it takes a lot. And I'm sure, everyone messes up. No one's perfect.
Nope.
I lose every now and again. I lost on my last trade. This current trade's going well. We're up 250% on the year. I have like an 80% win rate, so it's good. All right.
Yep.
You could join. You can follow those trades if you so desire, and you don't need any time. If you want to take the time to learn, I do have like the whole trading system that I've talked about with these different moving averages and my strategy and trading psychology, risk management. Like, I go in depth in all that, and those are like video lessons that come with the mentorship group. So I'm gonna put a link. It'll be the first link in the description with a discount code. We'll give you guys a discount code if you want to join. Go ahead, click that link, apply code. And hopefully I'll see you over there. I think that's a good note to wrap up the podcast on. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel pretty good about this. I think the beginning was very insightful.
This podcast felt a little shorter, but I feel like it was quality.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't want to push it just for that time if we're gonna run out of stuff to say, and we're gonna be filming tomorrow, so we got to keep some stuff.
Yeah, I think one thing you could take away, like as a viewer from this podcast, is not to put cheese in the boiling water when you make mac and cheese.
You did not just do that.
If you could take anything away from this podcast, that would be it. So, yeah, I think with that said,
follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram. I'm Jack, the Weekly Traders. That's Mark, the Daily Traders.
Thank you.
Daily Traders Podcast. Want to see clips?
Comment, like, share, subscribe. See you in the next one.